From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hurricane Milton hits Florida now on daybreak. Millions are without power as the recovery begins. And helping with search and rescue, how Indiana Task Force 1 is now headed to the scene in Florida. Plus, Hoosiers helping each other, the family who helped one of their own get out of harm's way.
Whether you're scouring business financial sites or listening to economics podcasts like this one till your ears ring, you'll find there's no surefire secret to successfully managing your company's finances for the future. It turns out you might just need to pair with PNC Corporate and Institutional Banking, whose team of dedicated relationship managers bring 160 years of experience, pragmatic advice, and an array of tools and tech to scale to any size business. In fact, they're so tuned in to what you need, they knew you'd be listening to this podcast. As for that ringing in your ears, that's the brilliant sound of success. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC and PNC Bank are registered marks of the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., PNC. Copyright 2024, the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
Forget one-size-fits-all diets. With Noom, you get a personalized weight loss plan that's tailored to your lifestyle. Have cravings? Food FOMO? Noom can help you lose weight while still enjoying your favorite foods. Noom's users love the flexible approach, blending psychology and biology to help you lose weight in a way that's sustainable for you. Plus, you can rest assured Noom's approach is grounded in science. They've published more than 30 peer-reviewed scientific articles describing their methods and effectiveness. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com.
Good morning to you this Thursday, October 10th. We thank you for staying with us for our 8 o'clock hour of Daybreak. Weather is top of mind, both what's happening in Florida and conditions here. Tara, you're on top of it all.
Yeah, we've got some busy conditions out in Florida. Here, our weather looks fantastic. We're going to see mostly sunny skies. Starting out a bit cool in many locations, but we're going to warm up quite nicely. Let's get you out the door this morning. The sun is up. We've got mostly sunny skies. A live look here in our Speedway camera. 51 degrees right now in Indianapolis, and the winds out of the northeast at 7 miles per hour. So very calm conditions out there for you this morning. A little bit farther outside of the city, we do have those temperatures into the 40s this morning. Like Kokomo, you're down to 44, 42 in Fort Wayne, mid 40s in Richmond, and then mid and upper 40s near 50 across parts of Evansville this morning. We do have high pressure across parts of the Great Lakes, and that is going to keep us high and dry for the day today. It is going to be absolutely beautiful. Temperatures will continue to climb into the 70s under a mostly sunny sky, so pretty much a carbon copy of what we saw yesterday. We may see temperatures a few degrees cooler here or there, but in general, mostly sunny skies expected. During the day today, those winds will be awfully light. We'll get up to about 62 degrees at 11 o'clock in the morning. And temperatures later in the afternoon today will be climbing into the 70s. About 76 degrees here in Indianapolis, almost close to 10 degrees above normal for this time of the year. 77 Lafayette, 79 in Washington, and 80 across parts of Evansville. We will see another beautiful day for your Friday, and eventually cooler temperatures move in. We'll share that 7-day forecast for you coming up in a few minutes.
Hurricane Milton wreaking havoc on air travel as well. This morning, a number of flights between Indianapolis and Florida are grounded. So far, 40 flights at the Indianapolis International Airport are canceled today. 15 have been canceled for tomorrow. And Indiana Task Force 1 is on its way to Tampa. The team says around 3 this morning, first responders started moving out of Georgia en route to the Sunshine State. They are among 16 FEMA search and rescue teams deployed across Central Florida. The 86 first responders moved from helping after Helene earlier in the week. Yesterday, the team leader told us they spent the day recovering and training to be ready as Milton came ashore.
We will switch more from a land base to a water base. We have swift water packages that we can go in the water with. We have boats. We have basically we can go by air. So we've been actually training today for helicopter operations. We will be able to be moved either way to get our mission done by helping them search and rescue.
He says the task force will join other federal and state rescue teams today. 400 members of the Indiana National Guard are on their way to Florida to help with hurricane relief efforts. It was yesterday right here on Daybreak that we told you Governor Eric Holcomb was deploying the Guard units from Terre Haute, New Albany, Lawrence, and Gary. The governor says the Indiana Guard members will help with route clearance, shelter management, supply distribution, along with command and control. And can you believe it? More than 3 million people right now still without power as Hurricane Milton pounds Florida with heavy rains and wind. But before Milton made landfall last night, huge devastation caused by tornadoes. Yeah. Now, Drew, you have been following this all morning. What do we know so far about Milton and what we could see next?
Milton certainly left a mark as we were expecting. A lot of power outages, a lot of flooding. Again, I think what you just mentioned there, Jeremy, the tornadoes were really the big shock, the most tornado warnings issued by Florida in a single day in their record keeping. So the good news is that this thing is now moving out, and along with it move those warnings, move the tornado warnings as well as the hurricane warnings, which were previously issued towards the western part of the state. The eastern part still in that, as they are still within the realm of this hurricane Category 1 at the moment as it moves on ahead. Category 3 with 120-mile-per-hour winds when it made landfall out near Siesta Key, Florida at 8:30 yesterday in the evening hours, bringing about, as I mentioned, a lot of wind, a lot of rain. Rainfall amounts actually were a little hard to come by this morning because the dual Doppler radar out near Tampa was destroyed, so it didn't record the rainfall. I was able to find a few external areas which estimated about 10 or more inches of rain in this strip from Tampa to Daytona. You can see 5 to 10 inches out near places like Daytona Beach, Gainesville, all the way to Palm Bay and beyond, 1 to 5 inches. But again, the rain is really the least of their concerns. They have power outages over 3 million, and of course, lots of cleanup to be done. This system is now out in the Atlantic Ocean and will be moving further outwards and eventually weakening to a tropical storm, no longer a Category 1 hurricane as we move into early Friday morning. So again, the storm is starting to wane. The East Coast still being pummeled by a lot of wind, but not catastrophic levels of devastation like the western part will be cleaning up from over the next few days.
All right, Drew, thank you. A number of people in Florida are going through devastation. Just take a look at what you're seeing right now. This is just one piece of that. The video you see right now, obviously the heavy winds moving palm trees and moving debris throughout nearby homes. Just look at the spark right there from the wind knocking down wires on power lines. One woman who used to live in Indiana, she's now enduring her second hurricane in less than a month. News 8's Kyla Russell brings us her story.
We first brought you the story of Marcy Minsterman's family as Hurricane Helene made landfall. Now they're hopeful they'll be safe in Milton.
It has not been hit in 103 years with a direct impact storm. It is considered typically to be a better area of Florida to live in, which is one of the reasons we chose it, to be honest. And I think the fear is that this is the big one. And as far as what we know about it, it does seem like it's going to be a catastrophic storm. And I'm getting goosebumps because it makes me so anxious.
The longtime Carmel resident now lives with her family in the Wesley Chapel area, just 25 miles off the coast. Only parts of their county are under evacuation mandates.
The thing we're seeing with this storm that's different than the previous storm even is they have evacuated up to sea, which is anywhere from like 8 to 10 miles inland, depending on where you are along the coast.
Still taking precautions, the family is saving water in bathtubs, prepping the generator, and moving furniture.
Because it is like watching a turtle just slowly come towards you that's gonna hurt you. You just wait. And unfortunately, the coast is still suffering from all the cleanup and the debris and the piles.
Their home is in one of the closest areas off the coast. Despite that, they've opened up their doors to anyone who needs shelter. And in a true show of Hoosier hospitality, they currently have 2 longtime Florida residents staying with them. These women have lived in the state for 80 years and have only evacuated for one other storm.
Because they didn't have anywhere to go. The shelters get very full. They don't always take animals. There's a lot of things, a lot of dynamics with evacuation.
Just 2 weeks ago, we spoke with Marcy as she hoped she wouldn't lose one of their homes in Hurricane Helene.
We have a home on Anna Maria Island, which got decimated during Helene. Helene ended up being so much worse than anyone ever anticipated, with it going up the coast and to North Carolina, Tennessee, parts of Kentucky and Indiana.
Here are some of the scenes that Marcy saw driving along the coast in the week after Helene. Sidewalks gone, boats lifted into the road, and waist-high water. And as for what life looks like now while waiting on Milton,
trying to be as normal as possible. Not sleeping, though. I don't sleep well during hurricane warnings.
Marcy tells me that despite how much has been lost and how much will be lost as a result of this storm, the community is still coming together. I'm Kyla Russell for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
The American Red Cross says there are a number of ways that you can lend a helping hand to people impacted by Hurricane Milton as it continues to wreak havoc on the region. Just take a look at some of it here. What you're looking at right now, that's the top of a roof. You can see the tree next to it, limbs broken and falling down all over vehicles in the ground, scattered across yards. Each incident like that, according to the Red Cross, requires donations. Their best, because each disaster requires a different type of aid, and a single donation can go to multiple relief efforts.
And those donations will help to provide a safe shelter for those who have been, that are being impacted, to provide a hot meal, to provide those comfort kits, to just provide some level of normalcy or comfort, despite of the situation that they are, facing right now.
If you would like to donate to the Red Cross, just grab your phone and scan that QR code that popped up on the left side of your screen there. It will take you to the As Seen On section of wishtv.com, where you can find links to donate. And of course, something to brighten our day, stories of humanity in Florida shining through the storm. News 8's Danielle Zulkowski spoke to a family from right here in the Hoosier Territory who stepped in to help another person from our state who was trying to get home.
This is a story straight out of a movie. A young woman alone in Florida after just moving there from Indiana 2 months ago, stranded and desperate to get home and see her sick mother in the hospital. In the chaos of the airport, amid a canceled flight, she found her saviors, a family of Hoosiers who knew they were there that day to offer her a ride home and make sure she saw her mom.
There are still blessings out there. Like, there are people that are willing to go above and beyond. And especially, it meant the world to my mom.
Jessica Roberts was alone in the airport, trying to figure out how she could get home to see her mom. Already in the hospital for over a month, Roberts was going to start driving herself in an old car when Billy Hill, his daughter Brittany Sibbing, and grandson stepped in.
I said, I know you don't know us. I said, I promise we're not crazy. I said, but you can ride back with us. Yeah. I was like, we're going to Indiana too, And she was like, oh my gosh. She was like, you guys would let me ride with you?
Complete strangers when they got to the airport, and as good as family when they left.
We're like, yeah.
You don't even know me. I know we're all from Indiana. We're trying to get out of here. We're trying to get the same place. So it's like God was kind of telling us, hey, you need to intercede for this girl too. Help her out. She's in the same situation. And it's like my daughter.
For Roberts, this trip was not just to see her mom. She was originally coming home for the 1-year celebration of life for her boyfriend who died last year. She felt he was with her for the entire journey.
I think he truly wanted me here. I think that's a big sign. Big sign.
Roberts says Florida was her fresh start after a tough year, and this 21-hour car ride became the blessing that showed her there's still good in the world.
There are people going out of their way, to make sure people are safe.
Billy and Jessica don't know what will be left when they return to Florida, but they know they have each other and can count on one another as family. I'm Danielle Zulkowski for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook for updates.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go. Connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening. And be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.